Let's start with the idea of crime and National Guard troops being deployed in Chicago like we're seeing in Washington, D.C. Chicago teachers argue that this won't solve crime. What do you believe is the right approach?
Well, the right approach is the approach our mayor is taking. Crime is dropping in Chicago. It is on a decline, and it's on a decline because youth have jobs in the summer. We're reopening mental health care clinics. We are reconstructing school libraries in Chicago. Young people have spaces and places, and people are invested in the city in the way that we haven't seen in a while. And so we don't need federal troops in Chicago, but we do need federal assistance to make sure our special education students are getting resources, to make sure that the families who are being kicked off of SNAP have hot meals.
You know, there are two tales to this story. One, you have the numbers that you cite, and it shows crime is going down, which is a good thing, and you can attribute to some of the things that you talked about. But the other is the feeling about crime, the perception, and that is equally powerful, especially to a family who's lost a loved one to violent crime, whose child has been killed. And we've talked to those families, Stacy. How do you assure them that more police presence wouldn't help address that situation and prevent another family from going through the same nightmare?
So, as an individual who has lost family members, plural, to violence, I can tell you that this is not an issue of having more occupation in our neighborhoods, that this is an issue of opportunity, that this is an issue of resources. One of the few things that is funded in communities of color is policing. So, what communities of color in Chicago have been asking for and getting with Mayor Johnson is more support and resources for homes that do not have another home beside it. So they are selling the vacant lots, hoping developers will rebuild them. We are making sure that schools become community centers. We have 16 more schools that have been designated as sustainable community schools. The things that the mayor is funding and implementing in our city right now, these are the things that are helping those numbers. And obviously, those things will have to have sustenance in order for people to fill them. But I will say that with all of the reports from LA, with all of the reports from Washington, D.C., those citizens are not feeling safer. They're feeling the opposite of safe. And I will tell you that recent polling here in Chicago has also indicated that nearly 70% of Chicagoans do not want this level of occupation.
Let me ask you about another issue that's impacting schools, and certainly will this fall because it's the first time kids are heading back to class under the new immigration crackdown. Do you have an estimate of the percentage of students that are impacted by the immigration crackdown, and what is the school's approach to address some of what we're seeing in cities like Chicago when it comes to enforcement operations, especially the one that sounds like it's coming here in the next few days?
So, what we are studying right now is the pretext that the forces are coming to help with undocumented people. Um, and then what we've seen in LA and in DC is that these forces then anchor themselves in Black communities. As you know, the Chicago Public Schools serves 90% plus Black and Brown children. We have a strong English language learning population as well. That means that our schools have to be Trump proofed. Our work as a union has been to help the ends meet where the federal government is falling short. As you know, the Trump administration is currently defunding and dismantling the Department of Education. So what we've done is put force fields inside of this contract that protect our queer youth, that protect our special education students, that enshrine our ability to teach the truth in Black history. As I said before, we are reconstructing libraries. In this age of disinformation, it is important that a librarian has an opportunity to give our young people the infrastructure to be critical engagers of the news and of social media. Just because someone puts it in a tweet, it doesn't mean it's true.
a lot of challenges facing our schools in this day and age.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.